Hey guys, it's Vladi with HV Build, and today I'm going to show you how to do a backsplash. Now this is a 4x8 backsplash. It's just a very standard subway style backsplash. Usually it's a 3x6, but this homeowner opted out for a bigger pieces. So today I'm going to show you how to get this thing marked out and how to get it set. So first thing we want to do is, when it comes to backsplash, you want to make sure your joints line up to something. In this case, what I want to do is I want to make sure they're going to be at the center of the faucet, okay? And then I'm going to be working from there. So that way it has a uniformity that pushes off of something. And this window is the attention piece and it matches with the faucet, and that's what I'm going to be pushing off. So let's get that thing marked out. All right, we use a speed square for this. And then the easiest way and error proof is just to go through like this and see where my cuts end up. Okay, now if I go full tile off this cut, my cuts don't end up too well. Let me see this side. Okay, so if I go full tile off this side, now the bottom piece, which is going to be full, obviously is going to end up about a 1/4 inch cut, which is a no-no. The top piece, which is going to start from half a tile, will end up well. It's going to be big. So what we are going to do is we're going to set it to where it's going to be a 1/4 of the tile offset. So basically like this, okay? So it's going to be on the 3rd quarter of this tile and on the 3rd quarter of this tile, yet it's still subway, but that's gonna arrange it in such a way where my cuts are gonna be bigger, okay? So, because you wanna stay away from tiny cuts on the edges because it really makes it look unprofessional. All right, so let's see where this is gonna end up. Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly what we wanna do. So make sure, let's get that marked out. So I'm marking it half, and then I'm marking the 3rd portion of it. So that way we know where it's at. And same thing on this one. So it's about 2.5 inches. Now the trowel I use for such a job is usually a small tooth, okay? I don't use a V-notch because it's not that great. You know, this small 1/8 inch tooth, square tooth trowel, I prefer the best because it gives me the thinset. You know, it gives me a lot more thinset than a regular V-notch trowel. But don't go any bigger than that when you're setting such a tile, because you want to follow the wall and you don't want to have just excess you know, thinset everywhere. So this is going to be the best way. So let's start smearing. All right, so maybe the first time you guys smear, it might just not be the best, okay? But you know, you get used to it. And this is such a small wall, I'm gonna end up just smearing the whole thing. There's no sense to, because I'll just tile it really quick. Because it's such a small backsplash, it's only gonna take us half an hour to set. Now we are ready to go. Now make sure you gotta work fast, okay? If you work too slow and the thinset is no longer tacky to the touch, stop, take the thinset off and put new one on, okay? Some fresh thinset. You don't want this stuff to dry out. So if you're gonna smear a wall like this, you gotta work fast, okay? All right, this is where you gotta make sure, mark out the half cut. All right, because all your tile is gonna be pushing off of that. And continue. Now, if you look, the center line falls in the center of these 2 points, okay? So we're still uniform, but yet that gives us awesome cuts on the ending. All right, marking the cuts is super simple. All I do is just mark it right on the piece of tile, okay? I don't try to measure with the tape measure. There's no point. This is a lot quicker. All right. Bam, that's that. That's that. All right, that's gonna be our outlet cut. Now this is the trim that we're using. This is called Schluter. This is a A80 BW Jolly, and basically what that's gonna do is that's gonna sit on the edge like this. Okay, and that's gonna finish up our tile really nicely and beautifully. That's gonna go up in there. All right, guys. Now that was about 2 hours of time of installation. I mean, it's a very simple job. You saw the first thing we did is we prepped the surface, then we smeared it with thinset, then we installed all the tile and cut as we went. And you know, we try to do it pretty quickly so that the thinset is still tacky to the touch. And then we grouted it. This is charcoal grout. This is much of a harder grout to do, so you gotta be careful. You better tape off the cabinets and walls and stuff like that if you're gonna do something this dark. But it is very simple job, as you can see. 2 hours of work, it turned out great. All right, so we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.